Half, they were in complete control of the game. Second half, they had to suffer a little bit. Eddie Howe changed the system, played one up front and thickened up in the midfield, and they got more possession. But in terms of just what they needed, a win. That was so important. Graham touched it before the game. They need to change that mentality at the moment, start to win more games. They'll get a lot of confidence from that.
And just what he needed, Raheem Sterling, was goals. None in 17 coming to us, and 2 on the night. Looked like he was quite enjoying that position.
He did. He looked lively throughout tonight. He looked threatening throughout, and he will have enjoyed himself tonight. The goals for him, you know, people talk about stats, but for strikers, it's very important for them to get goals. You know, the amount of games played, the amount of goals scored. Lallana does great all night for him because he gets in that area just where it's difficult for him to pick him up, and he threads it through for Sterling there, who finishes with it still. See that position there? Really hard for a central defender to step out and pick him up, midfield player to drop off. He got on that ball all night in that area and was feeding Sterling all night.
So I don't care what centre-half you are, when you're facing that young man running at you, you've got a real problem. And I think especially when they get Sturridge back, there's a lot of positives. I thought Markovic had probably his best game so far. I thought, as Graham says, Lallana in those little pockets was picking the ball up. There was a lot of positives today for Liverpool.
And when you look at his performance overall, is he good enough to be a striker?
Is he good enough? He's good enough. You know, and every game's different, Simon. You know, you can see what he is. He's great with the ball. He's got great pace. He's brave. He's strong. When you see, you know, you have to play to his strengths. His strengths are getting the ball wrapped into his feet, getting him turned, and taking people on, like we've seen time and time again tonight. And yeah, he could play that. Ideally, he'd play with someone, you know, maybe just off someone, but he could do that job at a push.
I think as well, you know, what he's up against at the moment in terms of Barini or Lambert or Balotelli, he's the best option at the moment. I think he's a quality little player. He's dynamite. He really is. As I said before, when you get all the players fit and everybody together, he can play anywhere he wants to play.
And I tell you, Bournemouth showed a lot of quality tonight, as we expected, in particular that strike from Dan Gosling.
Second half, I thought they were fabulous. You know, Liverpool were in cruise control, 3-0 up. This team never gave up. What really was attractive about them for me, they didn't try and change their style. They still were wrapping the passes in. They trust each other with the way they pass the ball to each other. They really snap in. Dan Gosling does really well there because the Liverpool defenders are frightened to touch him here as they come through. They're scared to get too near to him. He gets his shot off. Maybe the goalkeeper on another day would do better, but the really attractive thing for me about Bournemouth tonight was from the first minute to the last minute, when they're 3-0 down and when it's 0-0, they don't change. They're still trying to play the game properly.
We are going to get some reaction from Brendan Rodgers, but before that, he'll want to know who his side are facing in the semi-finals of this year's Capital One Cup. Just to confirm last night's result, Chelsea beating Derby County by 3-1. They're looking for a 5th win in this competition, a 3rd for Mourinho. Brilliant result for Nigel Clough's Sheffield United. Brilliant in the FA Cup last season, and they've got to the semi-finals of this season's Capital One Cup. 1-0 winners against Southampton. Confirmation 3-1 here to Liverpool, and a brilliant night for Tottenham. 4-0 winners over Newcastle, one of their last 2 visits to White Hart Lane. So these then the 4 numbers to look out for. Chelsea, number 1. The final representative from the Football League, Sheffield United from League One. Number 2, Liverpool, the 8 times winners, number 3, and Tottenham, number 4. Graham is drawing the home teams, Jamie the away teams. Graham, if you could pick up the cubes.
You're nervous.
Pop them in.
Yeah,
don't put pressure on, Jamie.
It's a hot one.
Give me just a hand out,
All right.
hand back in, and draw the first home side.
You really got that bit wrong, didn't you?
Number 3. Number 3
is Liverpool. The 8 times winners who put out Bournemouth here tonight. So Liverpool get a home tie in the first leg. Are up against number 1. They are up against Chelsea. You knew it was going to happen. Liverpool are up against Chelsea. Let's find out who else has got a home draw in that first leg. Graham.
It's number 4.
Number 4, Tottenham Hotspur. 4-0 winners tonight against Newcastle. And they are up against, just to confirm,
Sheffield United, number 2.
Number 2, Sheffield United. So there we are. That completes the draw for the Capital One Cup semi-finals. So let's just remind you of those ties, which are going to be played in the new year. Of course, they're over 2 legs. The first leg, the week commencing January the 19th. The second leg, the week commencing January the 26th. So it is Liverpool against Chelsea. It's Tottenham against Sheffield United. Let's get the Liverpool manager's reaction. Brendan Rodgers is with Guy Haphord.